Hi guys, it's Catherine from Peace Etc. So this is part 4 or part 5 of Shame and Heaviness mini-series. And today I'm talking about my family background and how that influenced me to feel shame around my heaviness, or not my heaviness, but the heaviness that I internalize. Any heaviness that I experienced growing up. So my family, growing up, the family environment that I grew up in was very chaotic, very dysfunctional. There's always mental health issues and constant fighting. I never felt safe to express myself fully. And I took on the role of a cheerleader and someone who, took care of my parents, their mental and emotional well-being, because there just was never peace, and all I wanted was peace. And now there are moments of calm, but in my mind, what really stood out was the lack of peace. The slamming of doors, the banging of tables, of desks, of shouting and throwing stuff. Sometimes it was just very, very neurotic and chaotic. And I didn't want to be another reason for any chaos and lack of peace in my home and lack of love in my home. So I saw myself as a burden, especially so if I experienced any heaviness. So I hid. Whenever I felt heavy, I just hid whatever was coming up. Because, again, I didn't want to be a reason why my parents experienced more chaos, potentially, or worries or upsets. There's already enough mental and emotional unwellness going on and imbalance going on. So what I did was just stuff it all down, pretend it didn't exist, and I didn't talk about it with anyone, and I didn't even let myself feel those things. And so they just crept up later, and also I felt like I had two identities. One, this hidden Kathy or Catherine that was heavy and was feeling all these quote unquote dark stuff. And another Kathy that was super outgoing and cheerful and bubbly and, so loving. Because I didn't think those two can coexist. And of course, my parents didn't know that I was carrying so much heaviness until I just reached a point where I exploded with sadness, or I just wasn't me. I was just very quiet. And then they would ask me hey, is something wrong? But I hid it very well. I didn't want them worrying about me. I thought I was a burden if somebody worries about me. So, it's not just about the culture that you grow up in, cultural roles, gender roles, any societal norms around emotions. It's also, your family environment can play a role into how you deem certain emotions a certain way. For example, in this case, how I deemed sadness or anger, disappointment, frustration, things like that I deemed as bad and something that shouldn't be felt and shouldn't be experienced. That was really shaped partly due to my upbringing and my environment. But I also want to say that, over time I've been able to grow out of it and bring forgiveness to my family members for being the way they were and for their experience, and for myself for considering myself a burden, for experiencing heaviness, and to start letting myself feel these things and undoing the things I learned from my family, from belonging to my family, through my childhood. You know, there's always, I'm just seeing a beautiful butterfly, beautiful monarch butterfly. But there's always a chance for you to start rewriting your childhood experiences and rewriting your current experience. It takes time and patience and a lot of love, but you can heal through these things. You can heal through it. It's a lot of practice, and repatterning doesn't happen overnight. And there's certain times where, okay, this is it. Like, I've really had to learn to validate my experiences because I hadn't let myself experience these quote unquote heavy emotions. So the process of letting go of shame around these emotions has been one where I'm being open to what I'm experiencing, giving myself the space to experience these things. Because that's another thing. I didn't know how to give myself space. My family was one where we didn't give each other space. Or my parents didn't give themselves space. So it only took like a huge fight to get, it took huge fights and crisis moments for them to give each other space. Otherwise, there wasn't much space to process and to even communicate their experience. So, learning how to give myself space and go through these emotions has been one of the learnings. On this path of self-love and experiencing, opening up to different emotions. But it's something you can do, You can start at any point in your life. It doesn't take anything outside of you to start. You can choose for yourself to start today, if you wanted to, And of course, if you feel like you need the support, then there are so many supports out there that you can count on. But the door for you to start reconnecting with yourself and opening up to your experiences are there. It's there already. The door's there already. So I hope there's something for you in this message. And thanks for listening to all of this. And I'm sending you so much love on your self-love journey, on your healing journey, on your self-discovery journey.